Semiotics is really complicated, so I'm going to start with a picture, which you can kind of see here. This is Shanti. This was Shanti. Shanti was an old man. He was my baby cat. He is a black cat. So when we start talking signs, signifiers, signified, all these iconic signs, and we really get into unpacking all these ideas, when I say black cat, especially depending on the time of year, if we are close to Halloween and fall, we might start to think Halloween and fall. When I say black cat, I mean my cat. But that's not something that anybody or my listener, depending on who the listener is, or the receiver of my message, depending on who the receiver of my message is necessarily going to know. And that's what semiotics is getting at, is that I say black cat and you all have variations of images in your head for a variety of reasons, and none of us are wrong. And we can keep people in and keep people out based on that. So 2 summers ago, my dad came, my parents were staying with us for the summer, which is super fun. And he came back from North Carolina, which was where he was born and raised, and he had this entire booklet of love letters that my grandma and grandpa had written each other. So we're talking late 1940s, because this is post-World War II. On the back of each of the letters, they had written SWAK. And he and I searched and searched and searched. We could not figure out what SWAK stood for. And then I happened to read a random book, because literature is amazing. And it said, sealed with a kiss. And I texted my dad immediately, and I did this via text. So media, so many mixed media here. I sent him what SWAK meant. We did not understand. We were left out of that messaging because that wasn't a thing that either of our generations experienced, but it was something that my grandparents wrote on the backs of their letters. This is what we're getting at with all of the semiotics. So do your best with all of the words and the terminology. What you need to take away is that I can say something like black cat, and I have an image, I have an emotional response to that. He was my baby cat, and he liked to be carried around like a baby, and he was the cutest little cuddly thing in the whole entire world. And so I get emotional and I get a little teary because I'm still not over it. But you might not. You have no idea who my cat was. You have no idea what that means. Or you were raised around superstition, and so black cat means something, and your emotional response is vastly different. That's the point of semiotics, is understanding that. SWAK, we didn't understand it. My grandparents did. Same thing. That meant that their parents probably didn't understand it either, which was a part of the point. That's what semiotics is getting at, is what is the function, not just of words, not just of language, not just of grammar, but of the relative nature of how we understand words, of the ways that we negotiate the meanings of words together, and the way that they're cultural.